which we didn't. So this is nice. It could be a...
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ride the Nine to a Fire Pit. Tonight we are joined by none other than Sharivari. And if you do not know who he is, you have been living under a rock. He is a YouTube sensation, a magnificent teacher, and tonight he is going to go a little in depth about his YouTube base, his teaching, and we are going to play a little bit of what we'd call a live match, although it's probably not going to be much of a match. But he, within that match, is going to give some pointers as to how you can improve your game. All right, so let's bring him in. And here he is, Shari, welcome. This is Ivan Simonis, Aramis Kamui sponsored Shari or Sharivari. There he is. So welcome to Ride the Night Tour.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you. We're so excited to have you. It's actually quite an honor to have you. You're welcome. So we're just gonna kind of dig right in here. We know a couple of mutual people, and one talked to me about the passion that you have always had for teaching. So a little bit about when you started playing, when you had this great desire for teaching. Tell me how it all started.
Well, it started around, I think 3 or 4 years ago, and it wasn't a conscious decision. So I didn't decide to start a YouTube channel, start coaching or teaching people. It was just that I enjoyed playing pool. I tried to improve my game, and I just started to record myself playing pool, doing a bit of video analysis, how I behave at the table, analyzing the mistakes I'm making, why I'm missing, why I'm not running out. And I really was a rookie at that time. I'm just playing for a total of 10 years now. So I wasn't a really good player. I wasn't a good coach. And I just recorded myself and wanted to share it somewhere. So I decided, let's upload it on my YouTube channel and make it public. Maybe anyone wants to see it. At that point, no one didn't want to watch it because it was just poor quality. I was playing some drills or just 9-ball and stuff like that. And at some point I decided, well, maybe I should play a couple of drills, maybe do a bit of commentary, maybe someone could benefit from it. And that's basically how it started. And it was still in German at that time, because obviously I'm from Germany. And I did this for 1 or 2 years, and it slowly developed over time that I put some graphics over the video. And I think the first time I did something in English was the AZ Billiards Ghost Challenge. You could submit your match against the ghost, and there I had a small text to introduce myself and put some graphics over it. And this is basically how it started. And then I decided, let's do it in English. Maybe I can reach more people. And one video got viral, how much it can go viral in the pool world. And from there I thought, well, maybe that's something I could do more often and put a bit more work into it. And that's basically how everything started or developed. So maybe just a good coincidence.
Okay, all right. And how long ago was that first happened, when you started to upload to YouTube?
I started to upload around 5 years ago, and around 3 years ago was my first video in English that blew up somehow. It was the video how to become a shot maker. This was the first big success, and at that point I had around 80 subscribers, and then this video blew up, and within a week I had 1,000 subscribers. So that's
that's all it took, huh? Yeah, it's like the overnight sensation. Wow, you have more YouTube followers than I do right now, so. So wow, that's magnificent. So was there a specific person that inspired you in pool? Somebody, or did you just see it, try it? Where did you try it? Like I have so many. I want to know like the depth of where it all really started. Were you like the very first time maybe you picked up a pool cue when you were 4 years old, but you never really started to play. You went out with the guys one night, you shot pool, and you're like, wow, this is a pretty fun game, you know? So where did you first, like what was the very first time, what age did you actually just hold a pool cue? And what age did you say, wow? Because sometimes there's years in between, we lapse, you know? But you decided that's for me.
Yeah, that has to be pretty early because my dad is a pool player as well. And I think maybe I was 8, 9 years when he took me the first time to the pub, and I couldn't even play at that time because I was too small. And I think at 10 or 11, I started to play a couple of times with my dad. And this went on until I was 13, 14, 15. But it wasn't a regular thing. So maybe once every 2 weeks we were playing for an hour in this local pub. And I always was above average, but I never really made something out of it. So it was just playing a couple of times. I lost complete interest in pool at the age of 15, 16 when I got into puberty and other things were interesting. So I missed a big chance there. Yeah, but it was still a great time. But I missed a great chance there. I think I really started to playing pool regularly at the age of 20, 21 when I broke up with my girlfriend. My dad broke up with his girlfriend, and then we said, "Hey, let's play pool again." And from there on, we were playing pool every day for half a year or a whole year, every day just playing pool, and we had so much fun. And then after 1 year, we were still rookies. We just were playing 8-ball and didn't know what 9-ball is, or the only thing we knew was a stop shot, a follow, and a draw shot, and that's it. And then we decided to join a club here in my hometown because we didn't know there are actually clubs where you can play pool. So I was just playing my whole life against my dad and sometimes with friends. And then we joined the club, and there was a coach who was playing in the German Bundesliga a couple of years ago with Ralf Suquet, Oliver Ortmann, and there I had a real coach, and he taught me a lot about the game. And some of my videos are actually inspired by the things he was showing me back then. So that's how I started, and from there on, you can say I'm playing pool since 10 years. Very regularly.
Right. And I just want to also mention that we pinned in the comments section right there. It says subscribe to our YouTube there, but we're also going to be putting in one. There it is right there for Sharivari, Shari, excuse me. And if you just click on that, you will be able to look at his Instagram, his Facebook. There's a really great a video that I saw, might have been the day before yesterday, with Ralph and yourself, and it was showing kicks. Kick shots. That's a really good video. I like that one a lot. It seems like you too. I saw there's a bloopers also, isn't there?
Yeah, there are some bloopers. Yeah.
Yeah, so people tune into that. Please take a look at that. That's really interesting. It's got some really great content on the YouTube channel. So please subscribe to that and subscribe to ours as well. That'd be nice if we could get more than like 20 followers. That would be great. All right. So I also wanted to mention, we said in the beginning that going through his content, he was excited because you are with Iwan Simonis. You are personally sponsored by Iwan Simonis as a player, as well as Aramith and Kamui. Do you want to mention your other sponsors for everybody?
Yeah. if I remember, because they became a lot. ICA training system, of course. I think
Oh, we
you
have
are
that in common as well. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Don't forget that. We have Matthews, my Q sponsor. We have Gabriel's for my pool table that is sponsored. We have Shooter's Cool, billiard simulation for your computer. We have Pool Fashion, who designed my playing jersey when I'm playing matches and tournaments. And I hope I didn't forget anyone. I think that should be it.
I know. It's horrible when people ask me for the tour sponsors, and I'm like, okay, I've left two out, and I can't remember. I know that I hope that they all know that we're grateful. It's just that
Yeah,
sometimes when we're put on the spot, like I just did to you, unfortunately, that sometimes it just kind of slips through the
yeah,
crack. But we are always grateful for our sponsors. Um,
definitely.
um, so, what is your favorite game to play? What discipline would you choose over any other, and why?
That's a good question.
Eight,
You
nine,
can see it on my
10.
shirts. 8, 9, or 10 ball, obviously. I
Only
would
one.
say um, 9 ball. 9 ball. It
Okay.
used to be 10 ball, but somehow I switched to 9 ball. I don't know why. They're pretty similar, but I think 9 ball is a bit more exciting with luck that is involved and combination and stuff like that. So I think it's 9 ball. Also the most
Okay.
popular game, I guess.
Okay. Okay. All right. Do you like the break better in 9 ball?
Mm, yeah, break is a plays a role in it.
Yeah. Usual.
I think the break is actually a bit easier than in 10 ball, the 9 ball
Oh,
break.
by far, especially for we tiny people. We have to have a little more. For me, I know I have to have a little more speed in it to get anything out of the 10 ball. And like I said, I had smashed that finger on it, and when I was trying to
Mm,
14-1 break about a week and a half ago, that was ultra painful because I'm like, whoa. So uh, I know that you don't play a lot of tournaments, but do you
mm.
have any memorable tournament or any wins or anything that you could think of in since you started playing pool, that will always bring a smile to your face, whether it be really good or really embarrassing. you know?
Mm,
Eh,
yes, there is actually one match, and yes, I'm not playing a lot of tournaments. I'm just participating in the local ones. Just recently, I played my first Euro Tour, by the way, but this is another story.
That's
I
what I was
think the
going to talk
most,
to you about. Yeah, yeah, sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
I think the most memorable match was when I changed my club, because I wanted to play in a higher league, and I got the chance to join a new club and was playing in a team one, in how do you call it, the first team? I
Yeah.
don't know how you call it in English, but there was a lot of pressure on me because I was the new guy and I was playing in team one already, and there was the first match I was playing. It was a race to 10 ball, and my first match I was down 7-1, I guess. And I was already like, oh my God, my first match, everyone's looking. There were, of course, the teammates from the club watching me, and I was, well, if you're losing that first match by 8-1, that's insane. So I put everything I had into it, came back and won 8-7. So I had a good start. I saved a good start into the new season by coming back and winning this match. And this was actually one of the most important and most fun games because the other guy, the other guy could play. So it was a really tough one.
Okay. Sorry about that. Yes, I think that was that I remember. I'm trying to think of where I saw that. I think it was on your YouTube channel. that there's a lot of content on your YouTube channel. Can you give us a little overview of what the YouTube channel has, and primarily, and how you go about, so what does the YouTube channel have first and foremost on there? It's a bunch of videos about teaching, right?
Yeah, they are pool related, of course. There you can roughly say 90% of all the videos I have are pool lessons on a specific topic: kicking, banking, position play, aiming with side spin. So everything that can help advanced players and beginners. And 10% are matches of me, and I think, well, that's it. There's nothing more than matches and pool lessons. I would love to do a bit more entertaining stuff, bring a bit of fun into it, not just this, yeah, maybe for some people boring pool lesson. I would love to do it a bit more entertaining, like Rolly, for example, does it, Williams from Kamui. So
Yes.
that would be something. I don't want to go away from pool lessons, but I want to make it a bit more entertaining and a bit more fun, and that's what I'm trying to achieve over time. It's not easy because obviously there's the language barrier I have, so it's not that easy to make jokes and stuff like that because I'm not very fluent in English. So what we're doing right now is very tough for me. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Well, I think you speak very, very well, and I'm trying to find the link that I sent to you because we were going back and forth. I just wanted to share this with people. Oh, it shows you as one of number 11 of 15 of the top influencers in the billiard industry. And you were very humble in our discussion via Facebook. And, you said something to the effect along the lines of, not verbatim, oh no, not I don't know anything. And then I just remembered putting it in there and going, humble, aren't we? So your English is fine, bud. So Lil Chris, just to let you know, Lil Chris is in here. Saying, hey bud, how are you? And he's saying your English is fine. And I absolutely agree. And we're putting up a bunch of videos here. Thank you very much, Curtis. Lil Chris is putting up Sharivari. Yeah, there's a bunch of. Nathan Saylor wants to let you know that he's a big fan. Stephen Poloni, big fan. So people are chiming in a little here and there. Everybody's outside swimming at the moment, so and trying to get some tan over here in the States, whereas where you are, it is 6 hours later. So
Yep, it's almost 1 a.m. in the morning, but I'm a night person, so doesn't matter. Took a nap before our chat, so it's fine.
Well, I used to be a night person, but I might be a tiny bit older than you, maybe a year or two. I can't lie very well. Not even a white lie. I just can't. There's so many questions I have. I should have probably written them down, but it's like that live and raw thing that I love so much because it really brings a different element to interviews. Maybe what we could do is, what would people want to know? Anybody has a question here, throw it right in there, and if you have a question that you want to know, we feel is appropriate, we will be answering it. Lil Chris is another guy there he's a really good teacher as well.
Yeah, he is. He has great videos on his channel.
Yeah. Very simple,
great
to
guy.
the point. Yep. Agreed. I actually interviewed Little Chris as well, going back some months, and he and I played. Yeah. That was fun. If you could correlate the feeling of being spanked in front of an audience and the pain that you feel emotionally, if you could just like have like, if it could be quantified to some level, it hurt. Do you want to be a pro player or just be an influencer? From little Chris. So there's a great question. Excellent question.
That's a great question. Yeah, that's a great question. Well, it's not that easy. I would love to be a pro player, but I think I'm a bit too old to ever become a pro player, and I'm too far away with my level, with my experience. I never played internationally, just one time at the Derby. That's it. So I think it's just too late to become a pro player, unfortunately. I would love to be one. So I concentrate on being an influencer, being a pool coach, helping people. But I want to play. I want to grow as a player. I want to improve as a player as well. And it's a bit of a conflict because if you're that influential guy who teaches pool, and then you're going to a tournament and you don't perform well, and even if it's on live stream, then some people at least, not the majority of the people, they are thinking about, well, he's teaching us stuff, but he isn't a pro player. He just lost a match. He made a bad shot, a poor decision. So it's a bit of a conflict. Of course, I could just hide myself in my basement, just do the videos and not play any tournaments, no international tournaments. That's what I want to do once COVID is over, travel around the world and play a bit more. So I could hide, but I love the sport and the game too much to just do this YouTube videos, which I love, but I also love playing pool. So yeah, I try to improve, get better and better. My goal is to someday play in the German Bundesliga, and yeah, that's my goal. So I want to be both.
I think that you can definitely go pro. I don't see any reason that you can't. In regard to age, as long as you have the ability, we have a player on our tour who's 80 years old, and he can run a 3-pack. Like it's an amateur. We have an amateur tour. A lot of people are for the professionals and the youth, but no one really has a platform for those who are amateurs, and I think that's why I like it so much. So there he is. I just mentioned him, Ron Richardson. Hi, Gloria. Fan here also. Great videos. So another compliment to you. Like I said, you are a very well-known person, player, teacher, and are great to this sport. Your humility is wonderful. I love the fact that you're so humble. I don't think you realize what you've accomplished, and in a really short time frame. There are people who try for years and years different routes, and yours just kind of went there. You certainly can go pro. Yep. That's little Chris again.
That's a good one. That's a good
You made
one.
a little fun of GoPro.
You were one in your videos.
Because he uses
He's
a GoPro.
funny. Yeah. It's something to expect from him. He's a bit of a character. What I like about him.
Yeah.
All right. So, how about this? If you had the opportunity to come to America or anywhere, who would be the one person that you would love to have a really serious match with? Who would you who do you want, who would you love to play, and who would you really love to beat? I know that's so, I have to ask.
Well, that's a good question. I think I would have to pick my favorite player, obviously, who is Ko Pin Yi. It's not from the States, but this would be the one guy because I admire his style of play, his dedication, just his appearance at the table, I think this would be the guy I would love to play one day at a tournament or a money match. And also Shane. Shane is a good pick. I used to watch
Yes.
him a lot.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I'm not familiar, very familiar. I know I've heard the name, but I can't place it. Uh, so yeah, I would like to see that as well. If you ever decide that you want to, and there's a remote, I will stream it absolutely free. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
If they accept, if you want to throw it, if we want to call it a challenge, what would say it's a dream or a challenge, either of the two will work. I would love to. I would love to be behind there streaming and doing what I consider commentating.
We can do that, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to see that because, you know, you never know what you have. As you said, you were trailing, you know, and sometimes it's just that one shot that someone else misses that you capitalize on, and then all of a sudden things just turn right around, or you feel, wow, I really need to grind. It's grind time, and
Yep.
you know, you're just all in. Another video I was watching between you and your friend, where I think he went from the 5 to the 7, and he had to use some force follow. I think it was the 5. I know the 7 was sitting on this side of the table where he was standing, but he had to use some force follow on that, and he followed through, and then from there, that was the remainder of the rack. And that was a spectacular shot, but it was done pretty much kind of on the rail and under, you know, pressure. Now, of course, that's different than if you're playing Shane Van Boning in front of a huge crowd of people. But with that being said, how much of this do you think is actually the mental game?
I
The
think
mental
the
part of the
better
game. Yeah.
I think the better you get as a player with your technique, with position play, knowledge, shot making ability, mental game becomes bigger and more important, because when watching the pros, most of them or almost everyone knows what's the right shot. They are able to execute it, but mental game plays just another role compared to two beginners playing. They who are just struggling with actually making the shot, figuring out how to adjust for side spin, getting position and stuff like that. So I think if you're a beginner, if you have to learn all the basics, all this stuff, and the game, mental game doesn't play a big role or that big of a role. Of course it can, but the higher you get in your level, I think the more important it gets. And I would say it can be at least 60, 70% in some matches. For me, the mental game is very often the reason I'm losing my matches, because the mental game, unfortunately, is one of my biggest weaknesses. So when I have no pressure and recording videos or playing with friends or by myself, I can play like a pro for in a race to 15 or whatever. But in a match, when my head comes in and I get nervous or people are watching, then I can play like a beginner just because of the mental game. So it's really huge, and people should actually work on the mental game, get courses, practice things, because that's not something you read about, mental game, or you think about it and then you it pops and you can do all of this stuff. It's a process as well. You just have to train your mind, your mental strength. So it's still a process. So the earlier you start practicing, bringing yourself into pressure situations by playing money matches, tournaments, or live streams or whatever, the better you will get finally. So it's huge in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. People are always talking about how, you know, pool is a sport, and I fully agree with that. The stamina, the endurance, the thought process of a chess player at the very least, and then the muscle memory, getting on the correct side of the ball to make your run out easier. getting off on a shot. It's just that, like I said, it's that one shot. It can be that one shot that brings you from here to someone else coming here. And if you think, like, anytime you get to the table, I feel that anytime you get to the table and you feel uncomfortable with the shot, and you say to yourself, wow, this is so difficult, I know that I can honestly say probably 10 out of 10 times, if I don't just get that thought clear out of my mind, you know, when you're trying to think about the shot and what you want to do, your mind is basically telling your arm, it's in, you know, it's together, it's unity, and there's no way of making that shot if this isn't clear as to what to do, because what am I doing here? Am I picking this up? Your mind, everything begins on a mental plane. Everything begins on a mental plane. So there was a question from little Chris up there, and I apologize, I missed that. So let's just go back up there. With everything you've already published, does it get harder and harder to come up with content ideas as time goes by? Good question. Chris is all
great question.
Good
Once
questions
again.
tonight. Hey, Little Chris, come on in and interview with me. I'm not being sarcastic.
Yes, it definitely does. And recently, I also, because I read every comment I get on my YouTube channel, and recently I got 3 or 4 comments that people were saying I seem to run out of ideas because I repeat certain things. And yes, I mean, pool is a huge topic. You could basically never run out of ideas or topics. But it's getting tougher again to do topics that a lot of people are interested in. Of course, I can do things, specific things on certain stuff, but people won't watch that often. For example, I tried to do some stuff on mental game, and really no one was interested. So I have to focus on the main topics, but there aren't a lot of main topics. There's positional play principles, aiming with side spin, making the shots, aiming systems and stuff like that. And then, yeah, it's difficult, to be honest. I'm constantly writing down ideas, but I catch myself that I already done stuff like that. So it's difficult. Of course, I could just make break and runs all the time, but it's pretty much, especially if you're playing nine ball, always the same principles that you have to use at some point. There's not really anything new except for some really special situations. So yes, I struggle a bit to come up with new content, with new great ideas for great videos.
Yeah.
But I have a list, and I'm constantly trying to think of new ideas and new stuff to introduce on my channel.
Well, why don't we ask the people who are watching, and when I restream this, if you have an idea for Shari, I say send away. How about that? So, Tom Kosher just came up with learning jump shots. I think that I had seen a video on that. I'm trying to go back, but sure. I mean, maybe we can do maybe you could do like a novice, and then through advanced, or different skill levels, something like that. You know what, Tom, maybe you can check out the archives. Please go over there and subscribe to Ron. If you guys are not subscribed yet, Tom's another one of the players. Steven's another one of my tour players. Guys, go over there and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to me yet, subscribe. Yeah, what would you like to see? And see if Shari can accommodate this, and this will actually help him get some new content in. I'm going to put up a poll myself and see, maybe putting up a poll is another idea. What would you like to see? And see, and if you've already done it, maybe do it again. Maybe do something interactive like we're going to do tonight. Little Chris might be a great person because you're both teachers. I don't know, but I'm going to be ready in like 2 minutes to to break up. Do you have anything that you want to talk about? Anything that's come up that's new, exciting? Any future plans coming your way at all?
Yeah, my future plans would be I have a great idea for a new series on my channel, which is Sharivari against pro players. So I was already playing a match against Ralph. I already talked to another great pro player. He is coming soon. We're having a match together, which will be on my YouTube, obviously. And but apart from this video stuff, I would love to finally get back to the USA again, because I was there, I think, already 2 years ago in Las Vegas and at the Derby City Classic and LA. And it was the greatest time of my life, those 2 weeks in the USA. And I want to go there back so badly. But unfortunately, COVID came. I had tickets for the Mosconi Cup. I wanted to participate in the US Open. So hopefully I can finally come back to the US and just play tournaments there, travel around, maybe have some clinics, some pool, visit subscribers. So this would be something I'm really waiting for to finally do.
If you do, and if you decide to stop in the Northeast area, we have one pool venue with 22 tables that you are welcome to. Another one with 15 tables, and I'd love to have you if you want to do something together. I would be more than happy to set that up and arrange that. Maybe we'll have our own little can't really say Derby City Classic, but who knows? Maybe we'll have our own little clinic and challenge match and see what we can get together there. I would love to have you.
Well, sure, why not? If I'm in that area, I'm totally open for stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in to the Fire Pit, where we bring billiards to your door. Please join us again soon.